The market is showing us some very critical signs that we need to pay attention to. Plus, we have some huge things coming up for the economic reports that could be influencing these markets and giving us indications of what could possibly come next. Let's start off by talking about those. So on Wednesday, we have the Fed minutes coming out at 2 o'clock, and those are going to be watched intently. So watch for volatility around that 2 o'clock hour on Wednesday, because that could give us more insight into what the Fed is thinking and what they've discussed, talking about from this most recent meeting that they've had and why they did that 50 basis point cut. So what we're looking for are signs of recession. Does the Fed know that they're behind? We're looking for any scrap of evidence that we can get, and I guarantee you that that's going to be carefully scrutinized. On Thursday, we have CPI, so inflation data. Same thing on Friday, PPI. We have inflation data. Also, at 10 o'clock on Friday, we have Michigan consumer sentiment. And so that's going to be huge to watch for long-run inflation, but even bigger, the current outlook for the economy right now. How positive are people for what's going on in the United States? So with that said, let's get over into the charts. And if you guys want to see these charts before they hit YouTube, you can check them out through the Patreon. That link is down in the description. Click that, sign up, and head on over to the Discord and check out the Technicals on Watch channel. And that will show you these and more than what you just see here. So let's take a look yesterday at what we got. So I showed some bearish divergence on a weekly basis and on a monthly basis for SPY, saying, hey, this is something that could lead to a drop sometime in the future. Maybe we see it in the next quarter, maybe we see it in the next 2 quarters. As far as the bearish divergence goes across the months, that could even take a year or two out from where we're at right now. But the weekly chart showing that bearish divergence brings it a little bit, it pulls it forward on us. So what did we get yesterday? Well, we hit resistance right around 571, and we actually sat for a close right around the 13 period EMA that's on here. This green 5 period, by the way, if that crosses down over, that can be a bearish signal for us. And we are in a rising wedge pattern, which is also worth paying attention to, because if we break out of this, that can lead to a further fall from where we're at right now. In the pre-market hours, as we see it, as I record this video, we actually are recovering, bouncing, pardon me, bouncing a little bit from where we found ourselves yesterday. So I can take a quick sip of the Morning Joe here. Delicious. And we'll keep on going. So for SPY, as far as right now goes on the daily charts, the RSI is still showing that we're bullish. We're up above the 50 and the 200. That means longer term, also bullish there as well. Those EMAs, those short-term ones, can show a shorter-term, near-term trend. We want to be watchful for those when we're riding on top of them. Bullish when we're dangling off the bottom. Bearish, and right now we're kind of in the middle of that in the mix. So big old question, and that's perfect for the Fed minutes coming out on Wednesday. So over to the Qs, a lot the same pattern that we see here. Let me take off the Bollinger Bands for a little less noise for what's on here, and I'll also zoom in more so we can see the most current candles. And you guys can see the rejection that we got yesterday off 485. That's about where we opened, came up a little bit off the top of that, 486 and some change, and then came down, also sitting on the 13 period EMA. So a lot of similarities here still between the Qs and SPY. Looking for direction, looking for decision. RSI once again above 50, just like what we saw. It is declining though, so with that declining momentum leading up to the election, leading up to that catalyst for uncertainty. Also the inflation reports that we have, we would be watching those, not necessarily for rampant inflation. I think the next thing that we're really watching for is any sign of deflation that would come along, because that would be a recessionary sign. In the pre-market hours, popping back up here, putting us up above the 5 and the 13. If we can hold out, we really got to make it up above that resistance. If we don't, then we can be looking for support down below at about this 479 level. So let's move over to IWM for Russell 2000 stocks. And here for Russell 2000, zooming way in for what we got here, you can see yesterday the support that we found off this low price right around 215.86 is where I have it. And we actually hit about 20 cents below that. I'm sorry, 1 cent above that. There we go for the low price that we have on here. Could not keep the 5 and the 13. This is what I'm talking about for dangling off of these. So we are up above the 50 EMA and SMA. That's the blue and red lines that you see down here, the squiggly ones. And if we fall down below those, that could be a further bearish sign. You can see we found support there before. If we retest and fall down through, we're probably going to have a farther fall from that for the Russell 2000 stocks. I do think that there's going to be a period of pain for Russell 2000 stocks before we get just an amazing rally like we have seen recently for the Russell 2000 stocks. So I don't know if now's the time that we come down and hit that 50, or if we break down through it, get a bit more pain, maybe we visit, wow, the 200-day all the way down here, close to $200 per share for the Russell 2000 ETF IWM that we're looking at right now. And if we do see that coming out of that, then we could possibly see that glorious upside. We are in a long-term bullish channel for that. Nvidia, the important thing for Nvidia is that we actually popped the top of the consolidation pattern. So it is possible that we continue to move upward and test resistance that we see in here. So let me move in so you can see where we have this high price, 130.64, and I have 130.95 is where we would find that resistance. So still within that dollar range that I try to hit it in for resistance or support. So a lot of these playing out beautifully. We'll see today if we're able to get above that. If we can, the low 130s is about where we find the next critical resistance, especially up here at the top of this, which is close to 134, but just shy of it. Up above that, we have 136 and 140, and that means that we're creeping back onto all-time high prices for Nvidia. So we're going to be watchful for that, and I do think that we could have some further upside from here. We got to get up above that resistance first to have it. If not, we want to see a retest of this trend line, and we want to see this now support hold. I'll turn this red for you. If I can click on it, there we go. Turn it from red to green. Now that's resistance broken. Now we can turn it over into support. There we go. Perfect. And then at Tesla, where do we go for Tesla? Tesla, I said that we're back inside the rising wedge pattern. We got a pretty significant drop yesterday. Now we're retesting the bottom of this resistance right now. Got to break into that full self-driving day, robo-taxi day, coming just 2 days away. And so we'll see what happens with that price action. We might continue to sell the news. Now we're kind of getting that volatile period. Big old question mark for what's going to happen. We might hear some catalysts on Thursday itself. You might also see some de-risking leading up to that period. So we're going to have to watch for Tesla for what happens. By the way, low inflation prints and positive Fed minutes for that spell out Goldilocks scenario could both be very bullish for Tesla. And like I said, maybe we hear some strong positive catalysts coming out of that robo-taxi day. That Friday could be a very good day for us. We're going to have to watch and see. And finally, to wrap things up with Bitcoin, we got a big old rejection off the 200-day. That was in yesterday's market that we had. So for the 200-day, we were able to peekaboo up above resistance that's up here. You can see the 64,230 fell back down below that, back below the 200, but we're still up above the 50 EMA and SMA. There's still a chance for what we could get the RSI up above 50. We could get that golden cross moment coming in here if we go risk on in these markets. Right now, we're in a mixed period, so we see Bitcoin in a mixed period. Not sure whether to go risk on, risk off. And then we even have a little bit of a mix-up going on right now with things like TMF. It started with the longshoreman strike, and then also what we got from the low print that we just had from unemployment and non-farm, well, high print from non-farm payrolls, low print from unemployment. So those things are factors affecting TMF, by the way. So TMF, those are technicals that I have updated. I will put those out over at the Patreon. You guys can check those out. After you watch this video, just sign up using the link down in the description. Once you click on that, head on over to the Discord. You can see me and my community members over there, my technicals, my buys and sells, and you can chat with us throughout the trading day. Guys, if you want to learn to do this technical analysis yourself, you can do so using the link down in the description for Stockmo Academy. Not only do you learn to do technical analysis for all the stocks that you love and learn how to benefit from this market through technical analysis trading, but you also get access to the bread recipe, the training walks you right through it, tells you what indicators to set up, how to read them, what you're looking for, see what stocks are going to move up or down, benefit in either direction through the bread recipe trading strategy developed by Stockmo. And then Stockmo Academy is where you can find that. That link is down in the description. Make sure when you sign up that you use code word DOCTOR to do so, DOCTOR. Give you a massive discount on that. Lots of testimonials coming out in the Discord associated with Stockmo Academy, and that you can see all the benefits that people are experiencing through technical analysis, and especially with the bread recipe that I use myself and Stockmo uses. Guys, I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.